Now I'm not muted anymore. How about that? At least I didn't have a 10-minute conversation with myself. Hello, everyone. Who's here joining me? Anyone want to comment in the chat? Be nice. If anyone's interested in joining me, let me know and I will post a link. Hello, Sean, Jay Hicks, and Brad. Yes. Just I wasn't on the bums last Friday, and as you know, I acquire a gabillion records a week, and I like to show them. So I thought about doing a live stream. You know, chill out and relax, show the cool records. What's up, Lastman? So I will post a link if anyone wants to join me in the chat. There you are. And I'll show off a ton of records. Well, it was spurred today because I landed some cool ones today when I went out. But all week I picked up some good stuff. So hello, Nicole. How are you? But you know, I'll start off showing stuff. I picked up this. What's up, Cindy? I picked up this OJC of Kirk's work. It's interesting to me. If I'm, I looking for records all the time, and you see the same OJCs, and you don't realize how many they put out. I had never seen a regular version of this record, nor of the OJC, which came out in '61, and it's Roland Kirk before he changed his name, and Jack McDuff on Hammond, Joe Benjamin on bass, and Art Taylor on drums. And I don't think I didn't even look inside to see. It doesn't have the type sticker Obi, but it's in beautiful minty condition. So I don't know if anyone has this one. I kind of find that Roland Kirk stuff's a mixed bag to me. I know his later stuff I think is not as popular. But what's up, Eddie? How you doing? I will listen to this and let people know. But I have a bunch of earlier stuff of his, and it's good. All right. I'm going to show me another record here. This I have a copy of. This is Ray Draper, the jazz tuba dude. Red Beans and Rice, featuring Ray Draper. So I don't know if this is the name of the album and also the band he put together, but it's all him. He arranged it. And I know he started playing when he was very young. And I think he was murdered in the 80s. This came out in '69 on Epic. And this is very clean. In fact, it kind of looks like it wasn't even played. But I have another copy of this. And I haven't listened to either a copy yet. Well, I just picked this up. He's autographed it. But I don't know. I have a few of the other records. I have one with him, Jackie McLean, and then the one he did with John Coltrane. I have those. So I'm sure by the title and the dress, it's a little more funkier than those. So interesting. Hold on, I will highlight. It sounds great. It's a good album. I have it, and I'll show. I picked up a new OJC. I'll show it. They are good. I have 4 of the new OJCs, and they're good. They're better than expected, I think. So, all right, this is a good find, and I had seen a copy once before, not in great shape, and I know our friend Jazz Bum Chris is a huge fan of Gatto Barbieri. But I found, and this is probably one of the best jazz covers ever, or album covers. But this is an ESP disc. The only other ESP discs I have are 2 samplers. But this is, I think, a second pressing of this. And and it's really good. It's I guess you would categorize it as free jazz, but it's not crazy. Although, Gatto, his playing is pretty crazy and high. But this is a really good album, and it has this label, so you don't know which side is which is weird. I know the other label has drawing. Let me take it out and show the other side. So both, which the sides are not labeled, which is odd, but this is really good. Well, there you go, John. So, you're well on your way to getting fired, I think. There you go. I won't be party to it, though. But make sure you have that site that you click the button and it takes you to like a spreadsheet. Because that's what you do, right? All you do is spreadsheets. This is really good. I highly, if you find a copy of this, and the knock I heard against ESP discs said they don't sound that great. This sounds really good. So I was impressed. So kind of one long song in each side, but really good. I really like this one. People got to get on Gatto, because this stuff right now, I mean, this is on the higher end of what this stuff goes for, but it's cheap, and I think it's good. You should all start with the Last Tango in Paris soundtrack. That's really good, and it's cheap. So I'm going to butcher this Hemet Boulet, part of the, World Saxophone Quartet. This is a album on I'm not even gonna butcher the name of this record label. Sarkiro. And there's a drawing of him. But this is good too. Although free jazz, not too crazy, more avant-garde, but killer lineup. You got Chief Bay doing some vocals, but I was listening going, I don't remember really much vocals on this. Michael Carvin, that, Ahmad Abdul Malik, Abdul Ward, Reggie Workman, Charles Stevens, Don Poland. This is really good. If you can find this, from 1977. Not too crazy either, but this is a good album. Not too expensive. Yeah, it is a great album. I highly recommend getting this. If you want to get into him cheap, and I'll show a couple of them. I have them. The World Saxophone Quartet. Those albums are not expensive. That's a good way of getting into him and a couple other dudes. All right, another kind of free jazzy dude, but this isn't too crazy. It's Marvin Hannibal Peterson, which I have one other album. There's George Adams on here. This is live in TV's on Inner City, but this I think originally came out on Engine, and this is really good. It's a live album, but again, not too crazy, and yeah, it's not expensive either, but I think he's another guy that doesn't get a lot of notoriety, but he deserves it. He's really good, solid trumpet player in the more avant-garde free jazzy kind of way, but he's a howler. He blares it. I had sold in my last auction a reissue, and then boom, I found an OG of this. And I'll tell you something. This OG sound, this is in the shrink. I think Vinyl Rundown had mentioned he saw this on my Instagram post, that this was an old record store in LA. This OG sounds outstanding. This sounds really good on the Epic label. I highly recommend. It was like night and day listening to this and the other version I had. I know that I think Analog Productions put out a 45 version of this, or maybe Org. I think Org did too. And this could stand for a nice reissue. But in a pinch, I think the average price for this is 40-ish. Get this. And it's, he does a couple different types of stuff on here. The very distinct fretless bass playing is killer on most of this. This one song, though, to me, is like the meters. Are the meters even on this? You know who sings on this? Sam and Dave. But it sounds very meters-ish to me, this one song. Come on over. But most of it, it's just a great sounding record. And I know most people know this. So that I have a poster of him, you would think I have a ton of his records. I think I only have 4. And I have some weather report stuff. But good. This is good. Let me move on. Yeah, it is killer, Jazz Bum Chris. Why don't you come up here and get out of your stupor, whatever you're doing. This I found. I'm always up for picking up Elvin Jones stuff. And this is the Speaker's Corner reissue. This is great too. On this album, hold on. I'll highlight. Yeah, I didn't go there. I went there yesterday, John. Some of the stuff I'm showing I picked up from there yesterday. Today I went to another place and picked up some killer stuff. I'll show it. I'm saving it because that's some killer stuff. But I'm showing stuff I picked up over the course of the last 3 weeks, I think. So this is the Speaker's Corner reissue. On here with him is Thad, with his brother Thad Jones on trumpet. Hank Mobley. Dollar Brand is on here playing piano. And Donald Moore on bass and George Abend on percussion, additional percussion. This is very good. Not his best album, but it is really good. This is a solid album, and they recreated the Atlantic stereo. But a great sounding Speaker's Corner reissue. I'm sure you can get it. It's still available. I highly recommend this. I don't know if Kevin Gray did this, but it sounds good. So you move that over there.
What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm in a stupor. Why do you say I'm in a stupor all the time? I'm in a stupor.
Well, and instigated you on getting up here.
Yeah, it did.
What
is that? Show that last one again. That record's killer.
This one? Yes. It is very good. I would say...
Like an OG or what?
Huh?
Is it like an OG or what?
No, it's Speaker's Corner.
Oh, okay, yeah. Same one I have. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But I've seen an OG of this. I had a chance to buy one. It was too marked up.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds really good.
But this is really good. And Dollar Brand's on here playing piano.
Yes. Hey, Delphina.
It's really good. Okay. This was an album I had wanted to get, and the record gods made it available to me when I was searching. I've been picking up a lot of Marion Brown lately. Sweet Earth Flying. I think he's from Georgia, right? And I think this is like a bunch of his records are sort of dedicated to his experience growing up in Georgia. This is one of them. It came out on I guess people call this the Neon Impulse logo. Yep. But this is excellent, an excellent record too.
How crazy is it? Like
it's not crazy.
Not? Okay.
Even though you got your Paul Bly.
Yeah.
You got who else is on here with them? You got they're kind of listing everyone. Well, here, actually, there you go. So you got your Paul Bly, you Mubal, Richard Abrahams,
Mm-hmm.
James Jefferson. This is not crazy. It's really good, and some of the stuff. I think he also plays piano on here. Marion Brown.
Nice.
So I this is a great record. I think some people say maybe their favorite of his.
I mean, I'd be into that. I got that record store day one, and it's just too
Well, here's
non-structured
the
for
funny
me.
thing. I bought the record store day one.
Yeah.
The next day, I found a Airster Freedom twofer, which has that as part of it. It's called Duets. It's somewhere around here. I'll try and
Yeah.
show it. And but it has another record that's like a $200 to $500 record. I mean, obviously the OG is.
Right.
It's a record with a synthesizer or play. I'll pull it out. It's right under the stack over here. So let me grab it. Do you have any records you want to show or no?
No, I don't know. Maybe.
Here, let me. I mean, I have a shit ton to show. So let me see if it's right.
You got the Electric Bird, the Third Man 313 pressing. Yeah,
Yeah, I got that. Yeah,
that's great. It's great, man. I like that one.
it's
That's probably my favorite one out of the 4 that I've gotten.
well, right now I say no for one reason.
Oh, I know why.
Club Mozambique.
Yeah.
That is my favorite of the year.
That looks good. What's your favorite of the year? Like a period or just of that series?
Favorite so far, I would say, yeah, maybe favorite of the year.
Oh wow, nice.
But let's see if it's in the stack.
But who was that guy? There's another guy that had a live at Club Mozambique on Blue Note. I can't remember.
I'm telling you,
I'm
not trying to overhype it. So I bought this for $7,
mm-hmm.
and that record store day, whatever, that's like 35 or something.
Right.
The next day after I got it in the mail, because I bought it online, this is the twofer that everyone should go get. So it obviously it has the record store day one. This came out in 76 or 8. And then the other and even before they reissued it, OGs of that Leo Smith Marion Brown record were not cheap, but they were not astronomical. But this other record with Elliot Schwartz, there's Elliot Schwartz, that's an expensive record. The OG. So go get this one.
Well, the other one, I mean, I wouldn't get either one of them because I think the other record's terrible. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's not for me, dude. It's not for me, you know.
Well, we all buy records we regret, don't we?
Absolutely.
So
we sell them to people, to other suckers.
Yeah. So, okay. Here, okay. So get back to Hammett. So here are 2 World Saxophone Quartet records I picked up. Again, these are not expensive records to get.
No.
Both these are on Black Saint.
Oh, cool.
So this is called Steppin' with the World Saxophone Quartet. And who is part of it? It's Hammett there, Julius Hemphill, who's from Chicago, Arts Ensemble, Chicago.
Oh, wow.
Oliver Lake and David Murray.
That's
and
cool.
These are like unplayed clean Black Saint. There,
yeah. I'd buy those for how much were those? $5?
I usually find these between $5 and $15 at the most.
Yeah.
Here's the other one. I think this is a more popular title, WSQ.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all dressed in tuxedos.
Same dudes, though, yeah?
Yeah, no, they're all, I think they made like 9 or 10 albums together. I could be wrong.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, go get those to get in to those guys. All right, so what's with all the screaming and shouting there?
Shit.
Roger, you know?
I'm just a little excited.
Yeah. Okay. So let's
Is
go
there
to
a Black Saint book to read? I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't think so. All right.
You should write it. You should write it, Steven. You should write the the book for Black
In
Sea.
I'll write it in crayon. I barely have enough time to.
Not you. Stefan should do it. He should take it on as his new life's project is to document those two labels.
Here's a record I've been seeing around, and I don't think it's a very highly regarded one. This "Sing Me a Song of Song to Me."
Song Me. Yeah, that's I don't know.
It's a
music or something. Oh, it's a
fantasy.
fantasy. Oh, a fantasy for electromagnetic tape. That's exciting.
Yeah, and Freddie Hubbard's on this. There's Freddie, but I found this at $1 bin.
Oh,
So,
cool. I'd buy any Atlantic that has Freddie on it for $1.
Yeah, but this I've read reviews of it. It's a little, you know.
Well, reviews are full of shit sometimes.
I know, but I've seen it for $15. It's not an expensive record. Okay. Oh, this is a crisp jazz bomb record. I found a promo of this.
Oh, sweet. I don't have that. Yeah.
Well, if I see another copy, I'll pick it up for you. But this,
you just said it was a Chris Jazz Bums record. I thought you meant it was for me. No,
I see this record enough that I'll pick it up, but I'm keeping this. Just look how killer the lineup is on this.
I know.
And then
I wonder if that was his band at the time. What year did that come out?
This is like a lot of people guessing.
Okay.
So it says the blackout of 1977 in New York City.
Oh wow, that's kind of crazy. Really?
Yeah, they all met up at a restaurant and blah blah blah, and they recorded this album.
How did you record it if it was a blackout? They have batteries for the tape recorder? Or?
No, I think they just got together and said, "Hey, let's make a record together."
Oh, okay, that looks cool. Got some dudes in it, man. Rufus Reed, George Cables.
I see that enough, so if I find a copy, I'll let you know. Okay, this is a Japanese pressing. So some of these, after I clean and listen to them, will probably. I'm kind of thinking of doing an auction next weekend, just because I'm here by myself for the holidays. I'm not going anywhere. Milt Jackson, this self-titled Prestige. This is a Japanese pressing.
Yeah.
So it's basically the modern jazz quartet, but Horace Silver instead of Lewis, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
John Lewis. Yeah.
Very clean mono. So
that's cool.
Another Japanese pressing. And I have the OJC of this with the hype sticker and everything. This is a great album. This is Monk, Oscar Pettiford, and Art Blakey trio.
Oh, wow.
And this is a very clean Japanese pressing.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I have not heard that one.
Now, this will probably find its way into the auction, depending. I'm probably going to keep the OJC because it looks cooler. Okay. I'll go to two new ones before I go back to what I've picked up. This I picked up last night and is excellent. Highly recommend picking this up. You will not be disappointed. So far I have 4 of the OJC reissues and they all sound pretty good. I had the 2 that had this and then the Coltrane Burrell album. I'm selling my 2 because I have the OJC of that one, but this is good. Sounds really highly recommend.
I just haven't. I don't have any money to buy records right now. Christmas gifts and all that shit, And I also bought like 40 fucking records with all the sales at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but I just ordered some last night for the sales.
Is there more sales? Same sales?
Or? Continuing the You Discover 30% off. I ordered Caddy for Daddy, which I had sold off versions I had of it because that was coming out and I never bought it. Then I got the Night Dreamer, although I have an OG Night Dreamer that sounds excellent, although it has scuffs on it.
Yeah.
And then I got the Grant Green Street that just
came out. Just listen to the music of the 2 Night Dreamers and see which one you think sounds better.
I'm kind of slowly, when I find a Van Gelder, I end up preferring that over the reissues.
Yeah.
So, and then this, I cannot rave enough about whatever problems people are having with the Third Man reissues.
Yeah.
I did not experience it with this one. And I wish I pulled it out because this is the first time on vinyl. It originally came out on CD, but it's Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas on sax, Houston Pearson, Ronnie Foster, and Idris Muhammad. I have a live Houston Pearson album on Westbound that has a lot of the same lineup and is an excellent record. So this is a soul jazz funk killer. I wish I was at the show. It's a great recording. And usually I hate jazz redos of popular songs. Kind of sounds cheesy, mainly because of the horrible Verve orchestrated crap.
Well, that's fair, but I mean, popular jazz covering popular songs is what most jazz is, man.
Well, jazz covering popular jazzy songs from the 30s and 40s are fine. Right. Not jazz covering pop songs from the 60s. It just sounds
like how about a cover of "Hang On Sloopy"? That'd be a good one, wouldn't it?
Well, I'm making my point here.
Yeah.
This cover of "Walk On By,"
oh yeah,
is killer excellent.
Well, I mean, the instrumentation on like the Isaac Hayes one is amazing too, you know.
This is worth getting the album just for that. And the cover's really nice. Nice hard cardboardy. I haven't, and there's the hype sticker. I haven't heard a lot of people picking this up. Have you?
I just haven't bought it yet, but I'm definitely going to pick it up.
This is the only one I wanted out of all those Detroit things they did.
The Electric Bird's good, though.
Well, I traded with someone and got that. I traded a record, so I didn't go out and buy it.
Well, you did, but, you know.
Hey, thank you, Rev Carl. I'm probably like 75%. I'm trying to drive myself out. When I coughed, there was a little tightness, but I don't have trouble breathing. So last night I got home and took a gummy, and someone made a genius move of editing Simpsons clips together.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot it was YouTube or TikTok, and there was one character I never was like a deep dive on. Is Hans Moleman? Do you know Hans Moleman? He's the mole.
Oh yeah.
So they edited all the clips of Hans Moleman together, and I couldn't stop laughing, and my back was hurting from laughing.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a record my buddy's record company put out. So magically, these Hassan Ibn Ali.
Oh, great.
So they were able to get the record that he recorded for Atlantic and got shelved because he went into prison. So they had got that with a bunch of extras and put that out, and I have that, and that's a great record, right? So they said, oh, that's the only thing that guy ever did, except the album on the Atlantic with Max Roach. Max Roach was the champion of this dude. He grew up in Philly in the shadow of Monk. His style was sort of reminiscent of Monk. And then somehow in the Rutgers University archives, they found all these recordings that some college students in Philadelphia who befriended him made of him.
And
that's that box they put out for Record Store Day, I think last year or the year before.
Does it sound like it's recorded in the bathroom down the hall?
Yeah, I mean, they're archival.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they found these, but these are kind of archival. It's a double album, but he's not playing with like, no one. There's Henry Grimes on bass on this. And these are a combination of groups and solos and stuff. And this is archival. It's not shattering.
Yeah, but it's all there is. So, you know.
Yeah. No, it's good. So I'm sure this came out. It's available right now. So I don't know if anyone else has picked this up.
Now, who did he play with on the one record that was put out? I've gone blank. I forgot.
No, Max Roach.
Yeah, Max Roach. Yeah. So anybody that doesn't have that record,
here are the other two. So that's the if you're gonna get one thing, you get that.
No, get the one that came out if you're gonna get one thing. Like the Atlantic record that was put out with Max Richter.
No. Of all these,
Okay, of all those. Yeah.
I think Speaker's Corner put out that there's a Speaker's Corner version of. It's called Max Roach featuring Hassan. But this one is very good. So double album, and it's the Lost Atlantic. There was theories that this was lost in a fire. There was a fire from back east. So
Yeah.
But it didn't. It didn't get lost in fire.
Well, obviously.
Okay. So here's another Record Store Day record. So 2 weeks ago, Saturday, Common Wave, which is a high-end audio hi-fi store in downtown LA, they had their Christmas party where they invited customers, and Henry Franklin played. And if you follow my social media, in fact, I have a half hour of Henry Franklin playing recorded here. If anyone's interested, I'll post it somewhere and send out a link. It's killer. He's like 80 something. I chatted with him a little bit, but him and this quartet, the saxophonist was insanely good.
Oh, good.
They played for like an hour and a half. And I bought a couple records because they sell records there, but Henry Franklin didn't do well recording records financially. So like he recently hired a lawyer to try and go after money.
Yeah.
So I have it somewhere. I've got the reissue that not Real Gone. Yeah. The ones who put out Black Jazz.
Real Gone.
Real Gone put out an album he did for Catalyst. Where he's wearing the teeth.
Yeah, I have that. I haven't listened to it yet. Have you?
It's really good. So they had copies of it there, and they told me, "Can you pay in cash? Because all these that we sell, it's going to Henry." So sweet. I bought one to support Henry.
Yeah,
that was good. So I picked up 2 records there that I had missed. So this one's from Record Store Day. Elemental put out 2014.
Oh, cool.
This is Red Garland Trio with Philly Joe Jones and Leroy Vinegar.
Keystone, nice. San Francisco.
Yeah. It's a 3 LP set. And I still think you can get this for not expensive for 3 LPs. But it's really huge, massive.
Oh, a Zev thing, right?
Yeah, I think this is like one of the first Zev things he did, probably.
I don't know. He's been around for a while.
Maybe, but it's good. I mean, it's not stellar recording, but it's good.
Sure. Yeah. I love having those, man. I bought most of the stuff he puts out. I mean,
and I got number 6. Now that's a mystery number, isn't it?
613.
Is it 643 or 613?
Well, it's either 643 of 4,000 or 613 of 1,000. So I don't know. Maybe it is a 4. I think it's a 4.
You know who I hate? I'm going to make a list. I'm anti-list.
Asbone's Mike.
I'm not a big list guy, but I'm going to make one on the list. If I made of people I hate, people that think they're fancy and write funky numbers like no one's ever written before.
Yeah, that's fair. Now, what do you think about all of Mazzy's lists that he's putting out? Since you don't like lists.
But isn't it his thing to come up with shit because he needs to make videos, right?
Well, that's what everybody's supposed to do.
Right, but it
oh, shit.
But the reason I'm a big sports guy, and I belong to sports groups where we all chat about shit.
Yeah.
And a lot of those guys are about listing the best ever. And it's like a pointless argument where people go, no, Kobe's the best. No, Michael Jordan's the best. And it's
Michael Jordan's actually the best. But hey, so there's an interesting comment here.
What?
I do have some nice Christmas decorations, man. How come you don't put it like, I know you're Jewish, but like.
Okay, can I end this speculation?
Yeah.
I am 5,000% Jewish. Two huge Jewish parents, but they did divorce and remarry. My stepfather, who's still around and has been my stepfather for over 40 years.
Yes.
is not Jewish.
So you had the best of both worlds, man. You had the best of both.
We celebrated both Christmas and Hanukkah. My
So you just got it
siblings,
all.
my
Basically.
siblings have married non-Jewish people. So
Yeah.
for over 30 years of them being married to other people,
Yeah.
I've gone back and celebrated both Christmas and Hanukkah.
Right.
And as someone who's culturally Jewish and not religious, I love all the holiday stuff.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
I'm here for everything. Okay, now finish your thought.
I don't remember. That was it, basically. I'm saying my decorations are better than yours because you don't have any.
Okay,
do you have any dreidels? Can we play dreidels on the screen? Can we play with the dreidels on the screen?
I'm gonna, part of my celebrating Christmas is watching two movies I always watch.
Okay.
And here I'll play. I have a couple of Christmas albums. One right here that I'm gonna play, and everyone should have, is the Beach Boys Christmas album.
Oh, that's cool. Well, bring all your Christmas records tomorrow, Rob, because we're having the big holiday special with Rachel tomorrow. So
okay, all right, I try. But okay. So my buddy put out another album that I have not listened to yet, but it's a soundtrack for a movie, and fingers crossed that hopefully might get Oscar nomination. And it's a documentary called "What the Hell Happened to Blood, Sweat, and Tears." So, to make a long story short,
the best of or something.
No, these are all live recordings for the first time ever heard. So basically, I forget what year. Michael Clayton Thomas, who is the lead singer and Canadian, said some anti-war shit, and the government were going to try and deport him.
Wait, how did he say it in Canadian? It's like a different language or something?
Yeah, he said, click, pop, pop, pop. So somehow the State Department made a deal with them to do a tour of Behind the Iron Curtain.
Yes.
And this documentary, it tells a crazy story. For right now, the only way you could have seen it is that it had a short theatrical run at the beginning of the year. And I think they're negotiating for streaming and stuff. So you haven't seen it yet, but you can buy the album. But from all stuff I've heard, is the recordings are insanely good. These are all live recordings of all their songs. Double album. Here's the hype sticker. Came out for Black Friday. So I'm guessing like all Black Friday titles, go to Discogs and you could probably get this cheap. Excuse me.
We're celebrities, Rob. Are we celebrities?
Who say that? Listen, we're celebrities by South African standards. So I think they have 3 celebrities there.
Yeah.
And one I always talk about is like their version of Crocodile Dundee. Leon Schuster's this guy's name.
Yeah.
If you want to get stoned and watch a bunch of stupid movies, go on YouTube and watch his films. Okay. So yeah, that's this album, and hopefully, maybe by next month, in a month when they announce best documentary, maybe that will be nominated. Okay, this was the other album I picked up at the Common Wave, and I didn't know this came out as a Vinyl Me Please from 2017.
It's before my time.
They had a whole bunch of Vinyl Me Please there. I guess maybe the owner is selling what he got.
This
is really good. This is Booker Little's last album. He died after recording this, and this is really good. Also, Abby Lincoln's on here singing, and it's really good. And you know what? This came out around the same time as the Alice Coltrane Journey into Whatever. So this is, and again, like Genius, there's no mastering information on Discogs, so this is probably digital. But it sounds good. It sounds good.
Well, is there no mastering details on their website, or is it not listed anymore?
No, it's listed, but no mastering details. But But go if you can find this album, it's really good. Okay.
Well, Mike's saying it may have been remastered by Kevin Gray.
Well, where did you hear this?
I think he's just guessing because the dude masters 400 records a year, so it may have been.
This is from 2017.
Could have been mastered by Rob for all we know.
Look, my mastering's done in my own privacy. All right, I picked this other Marion Gray. This is I think a 2000 and this is a French reissue. This is a soundtrack he did. I think, and it's really well done. I think this is the company who did it. Les Tres.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Do you have any other titles?
Yeah, they put out that was it Caterpillar, the Japanese that was great. Yeah.
And this is really well done. It's a very flip back.
Yeah, and they're not expensive either.
No, I think you could still get this for under $25. It's good.
Cool.
It's a soundtrack to a French film.
Where did you get it? Did you just buy it or?
At Amoeba. It was in there, like someone had sold it back, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Still a lot more to show.
Well, hang on. Here's an interesting point.
Yeah.
So Jay says he's been seeing lots of EMP classics, tone poets in the record bins. He thinks we're on the back end of the COVID peak. I think we're way on the back end of the COVID peak, but
well, people are selling back their albums, yes.
Yeah.
But people are selling back collections. I mean, it's hard to gauge here in Los Angeles because there's just so many people.
Well, yeah, there's also just a lot of this shit out there. So I mean, people, some people just get tired of having shit.
Yeah, I have, like, I saw Freedom, like Art Blakey, Freedom writer. I saw a copy of that. I've been seeing them.
I haven't seen a used tone poet yet. I don't think actually anywhere
here. I've seen used tone poets, but they're not marked down that much.
Right.
So
right.
I mean, and Amoeba's a good store because if it's used, they have a different sticker.
Yeah. Flip back versus tip on every day, dude. Way better. I like the flip backs. They're usually flimsy, right? Like the English ones are all flimsy.
Remember that record collection I bought from the estate sale?
Yeah.
There was a shitload of Steve Lacy records, but this one wasn't in there. This is a solo Steve Lacy record where he plays Monk. I think he did 2 or 3 Monk records. Monk was his like idol. And this is from Soul Note from 1987. It's good. It's just him playing solo Monk songs. And this is the Italian jazz label, right? Soul Note.
Yeah, so is the other one you were showing earlier. What's it called? I'm going blank.
Black Saint.
Black Saint, yeah.
So this is good. And again, Steve Lacy records go between $5 and $30. I think this one's on the higher end.
Yeah.
Stuff. Okay.
What's up, Joe?
Hey, Joe. I got a few more. We're going good. I found this from I don't know if Bob Bradley's around, but he's the one who came out and recommended these 80s, the original masters.
Yeah.
This is John Lee Hooker, The Real Folk Blues. And this version is not expensive, but not on the cheap end for some of these. But these sound great. I have several of these.
Those like 80s or what?
Yeah, later 80s. This is 87. I think they came out with these like in 86, 87 to 89.
Okay.
Okay. Here I found an Air record, Air Lore. Do you have this one? So does anyone know Air? That's that Henry Threadgill group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have that one.
So interesting about this one. It's like avant-garde Dixieland. That was the thing they did on this album.
Hence the lore, I guess.
I streamed a little. I haven't listened to it yet. I streamed a little bit. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, I haven't heard. That is interesting.
Yes. Avant-garde Dixieland. Okay. Next. So I found a replacement copy I found, so I have an OG. I Frankensteined it. My OG was still in the shrink, the cover,
Yeah.
but the one I found today is almost mint. So I'm gonna sell off the one with the copy and this, which plays excellent, but a little noise to it. But this is a great album, and look who's on it there, Chris.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Little Cedar Walton, Billy Higgins, man.
Not like killer stuff. It's more tame, but it's good. So
I just want killer stuff. How about
this is the one that goes into the auction bin. Pick this out. I'm up full for Al Green, so anything Al Green, if I don't have it, I'll pick it up. Al Green's the awesomest. Picked up
I bought that stupid singles box set because of you, and I've never listened to it.
Because you're stupid, and go listen to it. It's awesome. The best song on there is the best Beatles cover ever. I Want to Hold Your Hand.
But like, it's a pain in the ass to listen to like 30 45s, dude.
Well, you're assured that that was all done analog, so that's one only way to really get other than OGs.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
I have this, but I found another copy, and you can't go wrong with anyone wearing a ascot, especially our cover. So,
nope.
Is
that on Galaxy? Did you say that already?
What?
Is that on Galaxy?
Yes.
Okay. Show the label. It's cool. Yay.
They were all the same label at the time, Contemporary, Galaxy, and what was the third one? This is an OG mono.
Nice.
This everyone should listen to the introduction that Cannonball Adderley gives on this.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very good speaker, and he's very humorous. Mm-hmm. But he's basically telling all the New York audiences that he hates them. He says, like, he goes, "We did a couple live albums, San Francisco. Those guys are hip. They're great audiences." And then he said another place, Chicago or something, Detroit.
Yeah.
But they're doing this in New York. He goes, "But you guys have never been hip."
No, just New York City. Come on.
He's like insulting the audience.
Yeah.
I have to go through my things. I think I had a mono of this.
Let's try it.
I found the stereo today. This is very extra clean. So it's Paul Chamberlain, Art Taylor, and Paul Chambers. Yeah, listen, fools from the past. Why do you have to check it off? Okay, I heard that song. That's the good one, or
yeah, those are the good ones. He didn't like the crazy rhythm.
Let me get out my red marker in 1962.
Yeah. Some show that didn't do shit, but listen to records, you're gonna judge.
Rob, is that on the silver Prestige label?
No, it's Blue Trident.
Is it the Blue Trident?
Okay. I didn't realize how early the Blue Tridents were.
Yeah.
It's 64. Yeah.
It's 64. So I don't know how you gauge pressings. So it was a mono, obviously, on the yellow. There's a stereo on the silver.
Yeah.
And then there was a mono 64 and a stereo 64. So
yeah, I think if it was I think they kind of stuck with the same like kind of language on the labels, because it says high fidelity when it was like, even on the Blue Tridents it says high fidelity if it was mono, and then it would say stereo if it was stereo. So
yeah, it says stereo.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have Van Gelder in the dead wax. Which usually I have to go look at my mono versions to see.
Yeah, because all those were from the 50s, like 50s, probably 56, 57, or probably 57, 58, somewhere in there.
I know a lot of people ask me if I see an album, pick it up, blah, 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 blah. But Big Ian, if you're hearing me, he asked about this because I picked up an OG of this that is very clean, which is hard to find.
Yeah.
But this is equal and came out around the same time as the original Jazz Chess original masters. I don't know why since this wasn't really a chess record, it was a Argo.
Same company though, but yeah,
But it's on the same label.
that's weird.
This has gone way up in price. This isn't this. I mean, again, this is not $100 record. This is a $25 to $50 record now.
Seriously?
This version.
Huh.
So this is 83.
I see. Yeah.
So, Big Ian,
Why'd they have to fuck with the cover?
Huh?
Why'd they have to fuck up the cover like that, man?
Because it's like the 80s.
80s, so we're like doing blow and shit. And
Blood came in to shake things up.
Yeah.
They were wearing suits.
It's probably you. You probably did it.
Dude, I'm not 5,000 years old. I was in high school. Then I went into college.
Mazzy probably did it then.
Who showed this? Someone showed this album before. I remember someone showing this? Does anyone have George Freeman records?
No.
This is on Chris's favorite label.
Oh, cool. I'm in now. Yeah.
But here's the lineup. Look who's playing with him.
Harold Mayburn. That's cool. Can you very much just tell us? Leave the audience.
Because I want you to read. But
people on their cell phones can't read, man.
I don't want to show the inside, but it's not for children.
Oh, okay.
There's pubes being showed.
Oh wow. You're really selling it.
You know what? Should this be a distinguishing way of judging an album before you even heard it?
Or if pubes are showing?
There's two albums.
Right.
Albums that either have Georgia on My Mind on it and
Okay.
albums that don't have Georgia on My Mind on it. This has Georgia on My Mind. Does anyone have this one? There's pubes on the inside of it.
Are they yours or some other strangers?
Well, my pubes end up being everywhere, so calm down. Okay, so I found an OG of this, and I have the Tone Poet, which is excellent. And
oh shit!
One Tone Poet that they didn't have to do anything to replicate it.
Yeah.
This is pretty similar looking to the Tone Poet.
Yeah. Yeah, just make the same thing. Yeah. Yeah, those solid states kind of. I mean, I've got 3 or 4 of them. They all had those. The ones I have those. You know.
And that this is
probably back then.
Solid state was Liberty. That's made sense that they bought. Blue Note, right?
Yeah.
But
buy the Tone Poet, John. If you need it, buy it.
Yeah, the Tone Poet of this is excellent. It's a must own. I bought this. It wasn't hugely expensive. I just wanted to see how it compared. But this is good. I'll probably end up selling this. So okay,
amazing.
Coming down to the last 3, I think. This was called a jazz guitar, and for some reason, this is like the 3rd pressing. They switched to this, but this is the only on red vinyl. The stereo.
Oh, cool.
And I find that the red vinyl of these Pacifics sound great. Like that, I have the Gerald Wilson that was a Tone Poet.
Mm-hmm.
That thing sounds excellent. The red vinyl. So I have that one.
I like red vinyl.
Okay, these are the 2 last killer ones. Okay, with pickups today.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
And this is, other than the cover, these are in really nice shape. Here's the inside.
Where did he play at? Does it say it says live in Seattle?
So this was the same week as the reissue the one that came out last year or the year before, live in Seattle.
Yeah.
Like is it the Penthouse? Is that what it is?
Yeah, the Penthouse.
This is at the same thing. I think this was a few days before. I think this is a better recording than the one that came out.
Yeah.
And it was issued on
early 70s.
Yeah, this is very nice condition. And the price I got it for is like half of what it goes for, I think. Same. And then I've been wanting this one.
Nice. That's a great one.
So this This is more. This is a kind of a scaled down lineup. It's Coltrane, Pharoah Sanders, Alice Coltrane, Jimmy Garrison, and Rashid Ali. I don't think they're. And it came out on the neon label, and this is very nice condition. So I'm very happy.
I think I want to take off. Probably need to get something to eat.
Yeah, thanks for coming up. I'm probably hang out for a bit more, but that's everything I've kind of got in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, that one's still pretty affordable, Rob. The Live in Japan, even though it's not super easy to find. That's only maybe. I mean, I think I bought a copy earlier this year, and it was, I think the guy charged me. It was like $30 or $40.
Well,
so
I didn't pay them. The guy I go to that I got these from gave me another discount on top of what he charged.
Yeah.
But I looked this up. This is a 50 on Discogs. What I saw was $50 medium.
Yeah.
I didn't pay $50 for this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and probably depending on, I think if you brought it, or if it was brought to a place that wasn't really a jazz place, you could get that for maybe $30, $40 if they really didn't look up.
The place I go to has a great. Every time I go in there, I walk out with something. So they get enough turnover there.
Yep.
But the guy bought a big jazz collection, and he's parceling it out. He's been bringing a box in like every other week.
Yep.
Like he's in no hurry. But he did tell me, he goes, "You missed one record." Here, let me make us the same size. He said, I put out OG Sonny Clark. I didn't ask him which one.
Yeah.
But it must have been Cool Strutting, because he goes, I put it up for $600.
Wow.
And someone came in and bought it. He goes, I don't know how they found out. Maybe word got out.
Yep.
So when that person, this store doesn't really put out $600 records, if at all. The most expensive record I've seen is $400, but mostly their wall records are kind of affordable.
Mm-hmm.
That must have been the cleanest record.
That's a good price. If that's original for $600, that's a good deal for Cool Strutting.
I'm guessing. I can't think of another Sonny Clark
unless
record.
It's Sonny Clark Trio, and he just was saying it was Sonny Clark, because that could be. I mean, that might be more six to $800, but unless it was like Dial S for Sonny, and he was just kind of telling you that it was a Sonny Clark album.
Yeah, I didn't ask him what it was, but he's always fair with me, and everything I buy there I feel like is a good deal. So but I'll probably clean the Japan one and listen to it tonight. So
yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Do you have anything you want to show or no?
I just have two things. So
let me.
I got there's a seller. He does a lot of stuff on Instagram. I don't know if you know, Rob. His Strictly Headies is the handle. He's a pretty serious, especially Blue Note guy. If you look at his Instagram page, it's unbelievable. He finds not only like really rare jazz records, but almost all of them are like shrink wrap or just like near mint. A few years ago, I think he did a series on Instagram where he showcased like every single record in like the 1500 series, 4000, 4100, and I think he stopped at like the Liberty sale for 4250. But he's like a real serious guy. I've known about him since the beginning of the pandemic, but he had this up for sale for a while, and I kind of went back and forth deciding if I was gonna buy it or not. It was a pretty hefty kind of price, but this is European Echoes, Manfred Schoof. This is FMP. This is the first FMP label. I'll pull this one out because it's actually quite different from a lot of the other pressings. The one thing that's interesting is it's like a top loader, which, especially for FMP, was not really a thing they did. This is the only one that I've seen, but the record it's on this like orange FMP label.
That's a cool looking label.
But this is the only record that's on this label. And then when they reissued like Machine Gun and his first Peter Brotzman's first album for Adolph Sax, they went to the kind of traditional like white label for FMP, but this is a huge lineup. Enrico Rava's on trumpet. He had a few albums on some other labels.
Well, he had one on. He had stuff on ECM.
Yeah. Yep.
In fact, I have a Roswell Rudd on Airster Freedom with him. Yeah.
Yes, so it's him. It's got Manfred Schoof. He had a few albums on ECM as well in the '70s. I think it was either late '70s, early '80s. Those ones are pretty affordable, like $15, $20, $25. Peter Brotzman's on this one. Evan Parker, Derek Bailey, Alex von Schlippenbach, Peter Kowald, Han Benek, Pierre. I think it's Favre. So there's a lot of big like free jazz European guys on that. But like I said, this is the first FMP release. I hate these kind of resealable sleeves.
Yeah, the Japanese ones are not good.
But because it's a top loader one, and I'm not really someone that puts the record behind, this is like the only one that I kind of feel like, I don't know, works for that. So this was a big one. This is one of the most expensive FMPs, other than an original of either, again, for Adolf Sax or Machine Gun, Peter Brotzman. Most of the FMP stuff is under $100, but that's like, I mean, I paid a little over 200, but it's a big, I mean, there's some that have sold on Discogs for 300 plus, and I don't know if it's just it was such a large lineup, or the fact that it had that unique label, or it was the first FMP. I don't know, but
now they're not in print right now. They're
no
label.
No.
Who owns the label?
I have no idea. I think the label folded 10 years ago or so. So I don't think there's really anything going on with the label. So there have been, I shouldn't say that. There have been stuff. There's a label out of Austria called Cienfuegos that has, in the last 5, 6 or so years, maybe a little bit longer, have reissued a lot of the FMPs. They actually did reissue that a few years ago. So there is an affordable option. Those are tough to find in the US as well, just because they were made in Austria. But I have one record that I bought last month that was on that reissue label, and it sounds amazing. So I definitely recommend that if you find it. But it's just one of those things where I don't know how. I think you can buy a lot of those. They're on, a lot of them are on Discogs, but some of the tougher ones, like I know Jazz Bum's Mike got the Machine Gun around the time that Peter Brotzman died back in June, but that's a really tough reissue to even find. But most of them, they're again $25, $30 at most for those reissues. But other than that, I don't know. I thought I remember hearing or kind of seeing that they have the tapes for those, and so those are like, or at least at the very least, they're being done as high quality as possible. But yeah, as Nicole said, Trust out of, I think it's out of Austria as well, is the kind of parent company, and then Cienfuegos is the name of the kind of specific. But the only thing that I don't like about that reissues of Cienfuegos reissues is that they changed the labels, and it says like Cienfuegos on it, and it's like a completely different thing. So it would have been nice if they reproduced the FMP labels, but other than that, they look really great and it sounds amazing. So that's that. And then the other one I just got, this actually in the mail yesterday. Dave, VC Ambassador, had shown this one, I think, last month. This is another like FMP related title. This is called Turn, and it's a trio. It's Louis Maholo, Larry Stabens, and Keith Tippett. So it's Louis Maholo is drummer. Larry Stabens he plays saxophone. On this one, he's tenor and soprano. And I think on later albums, he plays the flute. And then Keith Tippett is on the piano. So there's no bass. It's just kind of the trio This is just free jazz. This is on the sorry, it's hard to line that up. This is on SA. Oh, other hand. Oh my gosh, it's so hard.
Yeah.
SAJ.
SAJ.
There you go. SAJ. So the subsidiary of FMP. This is from 83. This is actually a double album, but it has the same address that you see, and you can see it's an FMP kind of affiliated title. So I'm excited for that one. I haven't listened to that one, but I did listen to the European Echoes. So those are what I found recently. I am going to Rochester next week, so I have a few things that are on the list, but
Nicole wants to know if you can post the on your Instagram the link to that seller dude.
yeah, I can. Yeah, it's strictly Hetties is the name of the guy, but he has it's some of the best stuff I've ever seen. It's similar to, I don't know, Rob, do you know about that group on Facebook? I think they're called Jazz Record Collectors, and there's only like 200 people that are in the group. And around the pandemic, beginning of the pandemic, I somehow stumbled upon this group, and you had to answer some questions to kind of get access to it, but it's a very like serious jazz collectors, and they mostly focus on what they consider the kind of the golden age of jazz and the golden label. So it's like Prestige, Riverside, Blue Note, but then they also have I think one day of the week, maybe Fridays, they do like free jazz stuff, but it's a similar thing where there's a few guys that are in that group that are some serious guys, but a lot of them also kind of, I think to their credit, they are guys that are 50, 60 plus in age, and they got kind of a whiff of the Blue Note stuff back in the 80s or 90s when that stuff was a lot more affordable. So,
yeah,
or even earlier, some of them.
Yeah, I
got stuff in the 70s. So,
I mean, throughout my life and whatever I've been into and collecting, I've always laughed at the true serious people because I don't feel like I take myself that seriously, and I see the absurdity in all this, especially looking around me right now. It's too absurd, but it's about, I mean, when it comes down to it, like I've divided it in two. The hunt for the record is a separate thing for me. The listening to the music is a separate thing for me.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
When it's a group like that, there has to be fun, and I never feel there's any fun there.
Yeah, and one thing I'll say is that the administrator for that group, it's changed. I think maybe a year or two ago, the main administrator kind of stepped away, and this other gentleman stepped up. But the guy that's the kind of lead person in the group now posts like every day. He has stuff. I think he started in the last few months an Instagram page where he showcases his stuff, and it's the same kind of thing. He'll have like True Blue Tina Brooks in near mint condition that he bought in the 80s or 90s, but he's listening to these records. So it's not like some of these real serious guys that are just, oh yeah, I've got the complete Blue Note kind of discography, but they're just sitting on the shelf. I'm not really doing anything with them. This guy is actively playing them, and but you're right. To your point, there's a lot of people that are in that group that are it's very snobby at times, where like if the jacket has a little bit too much wear to it, that post gets taken down, even though by most people's standards it's a VG plus jacket. It's just the group has very, very high standards. So
now, well, and I kind of realize that whenever I find a record that's desirable, it's purely luck on my end of finding it. Although I go out all the time, but my attitude is it's going to come back to me. I'll find it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the guy who races out every time I hear about a certain thing is there, because I know I'll find it. And if I don't, it takes away the enjoyment of going looking for something.
Sure. Yep.
But I mean, again, like I had come across this once before, and if I was that type of guy, I would have had it already. But I go, enough's enough. I'll find it, and I found it, so I'm happy.
Yep.
You know.
Yep, that's right.
Same as this. Record Safari every Wednesday night, not giving anything away, will post stuff on their online thing.
Okay.
You don't have to be in LA to get those. Lately, someone has cracked the code of how their website works because within seconds, things are bought. And this was up there a couple weeks ago, and I missed it. Okay. 2 weeks later, I found a copy of it.
Yep.
And I probably found it for half the price.
Yep.
You know,
That's right.
so
Yeah, that can be, sometimes you see something and you're like, oh, you missed out on it, whatever. And depending on how much you liked it, you stew over it for a bit. But then sometimes you then come across it, and then after you buy it, or after you've kind of had the ability to buy it, you all of a sudden come across it like 3 more times after that, even though it may have taken a year or two between when you saw it the first time when you finally got it. So
well, like this one, I had found a copy affordable when I went up to Seattle. And then when I went back to DC, I found another copy of this.
Yep.
And this is a hard to get record.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So, I mean, again, I my attitude is like, eventually I find it, you know.
Yep. Right. Well, you're always on the hunt too, Rob. So you're kind of always, you're looking around, and you have that great kind of luxury of living in an area that there's so many different options, where it's not just the stores. And I know for a while you were kind of looking at like the estate sale stuff, and
Yeah, but they estate sales, although I do look,
yeah,
I'll tell you one thing, it just seems weird right now that even thrift stores have kind of dried up.
yeah, yeah,
Estate sales, I'll go, but I don't want to wake up early and wait in line with a bunch of losers for if my luck, if I find it, I find it. But you never get the luxury of looking at the record and seeing if you really should buy it and
yeah,
stuff like that. And
right,
but one thing, I have 2 weeks off now, and I really need to reorganize my place. I know if I reorganize it right, it'll be more back to a livable place. And then look, I'm sitting on 10 records I need to sell. Like they're hundreds of dollar records.
sure,
So I need to put them up online, especially since the government's not going to get people this year. They waved it off again to next year. This is the second time in a row. I mean, here's the stack of stuff I need to post. This is worth a lot of money. I need to post this. I think, I don't know if Lastman's still around. I think he wants, this was worth a shitload of money.
yeah, oh yeah,
Like even, I mean, this the worth some money. I have to post this. This is an OG of this, and this is worth money. I'm really not. I like Idris Muhammad as a sideman, but his stuff is not what I'm not really into.
That one's a little bit back and forth for me. I know, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, this is still in the shrink. Like if you want the OG, Lastman, we can text each other now. I'm holding that one for you. So there are none. Here's the benefit, and this is sort of a thing I'm going through. Like even with this, I'm going to sell this. There are none on Discogs. There's zero of these on Discogs. So this is the dilemma with Discogs, and I don't mean to be the guy to try and make it. Bless you. I don't mean to be the guy to try and make something sell, but for a higher price. But like I got a copy of The Cry, Prince Lachey and Sonny Simmons.
Yep.
Because there are no copies of that. So the Discogs history of it is for selling cheap.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I paid $20 for that record 3 weeks ago.
Right. Yeah.
That record should be selling for $150. Just because of scarcity, right? You can't find it. There are none of this on Discogs, even though the Tone Poet's probably better, and you can get the Tone Poet. But someone who wants an OG copy of this, I need to post it. There are none on Discogs of this one.
Yeah.
So, and am I gonna be the guy who goes $350? They're none for sale. You want one? You know?
Yep.
So Mark Glassman, there's so not copies of it. Mine is an early 70s Monarch pressing of it. So that is that one. Should it be 150? They're not enough that have been sold. There are none on Discogs. And I realize how it all works. It's all subjective. But I have more than these. I have records that, like, even this one, Not Talking Jazz. This is a desirable record. This Valley Girl soundtrack. I have to post. I'm so lazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone knows this record. Here's some records. This is a desirable record. Do you know this guy? This is jazz.
Okay. No,
Paul
I don't.
Stephen Ray. And this looks like it was like a private press.
Yeah. Yep.
Scarlet Weave.
Is there any sales history on that one or no?
There is. I mean, it's not an uber expensive record, but I didn't pay it much for this, and it goes for more.
Right.
I told you last minute. It's not even that Cry version I have is not even listed on Discogs. I would have to enter it in. There are no Monarch pressings of that record on Discogs. This guy, who I know people know, I think he's more like a party dude. This is like a Los Angeles label. It's a private press. This is a desirable record.
Okay.
Not hugely expensive. So hopefully I can get off my ass this next 2 weeks and start posting stuff that I have put aside to be sold.
Yep.
Here, I will show a few more. I've got a little energy to burn up. So, John Bip Boom had sent me a mono switch that I'm going to hook up. And I found this for $1.
Nice.
There are none on Discogs of this. I'm keeping this. It is very G plus, but sounds great. And I want to see how it sounds with the mono switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got tons of shit here, man. So I don't know. But that's kind of like the duality of enjoying the music, but enjoying finding the music and then sort of flipping the music, you know?
Yep. Right. Yep. Yeah, that's what I mean. I went through that over Thanksgiving. I'd been collecting jazz for about 4 years at this point, and there was a lot of stuff that I bought either early on or were things that were just kind of impulse buys. I felt like I needed to buy something when I went to a store, and it was either stuff that I listened to and then was like, this isn't that great, or it was kind of what you're saying, where you're sitting on these records that maybe you want, maybe you don't, but you can't kind of forget about the fact that those might be worth some money. And I mean, I was sitting on a few records that were $75, $100 records that, I mean, I brought all the stuff to Rochester, and I got some credit for the stuff, but it was, I mean, I sold 180 records, and it was a lot of stuff that I couldn't see myself listening to again. That was just taking up space. And
well, I have to have that come to Jesus moment.
Yeah.
Where I'm so juvenile in my entry into jazz and what I like. But there's a lot of artists that I have to have all their albums.
Yeah.
I did actually pick up, I'm a big Bobby Hutcherson guy, and I picked up that, I think it was his first record on Columbia.
Okay.
Paco un whatever. And I found a kind of minty copy still in the shrink. And I go, I think I'm okay releasing this. So that'll probably be in my next auction. So, but that's the cool thing about deciding to do auctions and sell like that. At least I get to listen to everything.
Yep.
So I can listen to it and make my own.
Make the decision. You're right, because I've kind of fallen into that as well, where I'll start listening to a few records by a certain artist, and then next thing you know, you've got 12, 15, 20 albums by that artist, and you really have to ask yourself, like, these albums good? And some of them, I mean, like I did that with, I did that with Dave Liebman. I've done that with like Elvin Jones, where especially with Elvin Jones, I bought a lot of his stuff that was into the 70s, early 80s, and some of that stuff was, at least in my opinion, was kind of clunky. It just wasn't. There wasn't a consistency to it. It wasn't there for me, and so I just, yeah. And a lot of those were not worth a lot, so I wasn't losing sleep at night knowing, oh, I spent $50 on this record and it's not great. It was $15, but still, I mean,
yeah, for me it's like $7. Like,
you're right,
because right now I picked up a lot of this George Adams, Don Pullen stuff together,
yeah,
and I'm probably just going to sell a bundle of that because I heard it. It's good. I'd probably rather pick up Don Pullen in his prime.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Sure.
Kind of 80s where they go, well, it's time to make some money, guys. Let's do standard stuff and play a lot of shows. Well, thank you, Mark Glassman. I have come a long way. But I kind of feel I have a lot to learn. But I have a part of maturing is not buying everything. You know what I mean? But okay, here I have one record that you might this is an expensive record. And I've been sitting on it for a while and it's not for me. This is an expensive record.
That's a great, that's an amazing record. I love that record. Yeah. I got that earlier in the year, but that's like $100 plus. I found that on Discogs for a good price, but that can easily go over $100 for that album.
It's not the greatest pressing because I've cleaned it so many times and it doesn't have marks on it. It doesn't sound that great, but it's a very desirable record. But I saw a $5 record of him the other day and I go, should I buy this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd buy anything with Charles Tyler on it if it was me. But yeah, his stuff, a lot of his stuff is tough. He has a great album. Let me see if I can find it quick.
Yeah, I have to post this to sell it. Damn these records. Damn this record. Hold on, what does Sean Howard say here? Oh yes, Stefan.
This is the one, Rob. This is a really good one. Saga, The Outlaws, Charles Tyler. If you see that, that's worth picking up. I found this. It's like mint, $25. It's on Nessa. If you ever see that, that's a great label as well. A lot of the stuff is not super expensive, but this is like $50, $75 for this record.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know what it is about his stuff. If it's just obscure stuff, a lot of the stuff I think was European. His ESP disc stuff is super expensive as well. So
no, well, actually, I saw there was a Charles Tyler ESP I saw in DC.
Yeah,
I was selling for $75. It wasn't in the best condition.
Was it this one, Rob?
It was that one. Yes.
Yeah.
Is that his best record?
That's just, I would say that's the most. That's not my favorite. I think either the one that you showed or that Saga, The Outlaws. I would say I'd pull those before, at least for me. But you can't go wrong with that's his first album as a leader, and that's 60. I think it's 66 is when that came out, and those all three of those. And I can see why his stuff is desirable because he has a really good tone and the energy to his sessions are always top notch. So
yeah, but it's very free jazz.
But it's free, right? If you don't like free, then it's not. Yeah, and I think the Saga, The Outlaws. I think you would like that, Rob, a little bit more because it's more like it is. I think it's still considered free jazz, but it's a little bit more. I don't know.
Like I'll tell you, like before you joined, I got the Gatto ESP. That is great.
I saw that. Yeah, I that's a great one too. Yeah.
But so for me right now, although I do have some free jazz stuff that's free jazz.
Yep.
I like the avant-garde into free jazz. So
right.
Where it's still kind of manageable.
Yep.
Like
like Billy Harper's a good. Is that kind of where you're at? Is like
no. I mean, I have Billy Harper. I don't even consider Billy Harper free jazz.
Okay.
Well, I don't consider like Gatto's a good example where sometimes he's in a different place than the rest of the group.
Yeah.
And I don't consider that going away from, like, in the Gatto, there's this constant beat, that's a traditional beat, and then he's going crazy. I kind of, in my mind, that's more avant-garde than it is free jazz.
Right.
So I like interesting. I kind of in my mind say dangerous, but I like where it goes off kilter. That's kind of where I am in my different kind of outside the mainstreamy taste.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I have Albert Eiler stuff.
Yeah.
So I probably have 5 Albert Eiler records. I don't have anything where he's going mentally insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is stuff that he did that wasn't that crazy, right?
Yeah. No. Well, and there's one when I kind of had gone down his rabbit hole earlier in the year, and I picked up one of his early sessions. It was from like '63. It was called Something Different. And the original pressing is very expensive, but there was a Japanese pressing. I think there was Japanese pressing in the 70s, and there's one in the 80s. And the copy I found was the 80s pressing. And it was very interesting because it was like his approach to standards. And I can't remember if it was like On Green Dolphin Street, might have been on that one, but it was like some of the kind of seminal standards. And it was like his free jazz approach, and it was just wild because it would start out with this like very melodic tone to it, and then he started playing, and it was just like right off the walls. So and I think he was somebody that when he got involved with Impulse in the late '60s, he had that one record that was more like funk than it was like a free jazz funk.
Is it the one that the Verb by Request just put out?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's and some of the other ones. There's one of his albums called Albert Eiler's. I think it's called The Last Album. That one teeters between like there's some more like funky type stuff, but that there's also like free jazz. And I think he was somebody that just he didn't really have a lot of control over what he was playing by the time he got to Impulse. I think with like ESP disc stuff, he was able to do what he wanted because that was what the label was allowing him to do. But when he got to Impulse and it was more commercialized, he was kind of being told somewhat what he was supposed to do, like what was going to sell. And that was why you got that. Yeah, I can't remember what the name of it is, but late '60s. But it's more of like a funk type session than you would think for someone like him. So
yeah,
it's very, very off the walls. But
I think where I'm kind of very not good is more modern players, people that are more modern. I'll pick it up here and there.
Yeah.
Some stuff I get that people rave about. There was one album, and I don't want to dig into it, that people were raving about, and I listened to it and I go, this is boring. But I kind of feel like I need to catch up too on a lot of the stuff I have. I need to listen. That's one thing. Hopefully, while I'm reorganizing my setup, I could be playing and listening to the stuff too. And that's it. But also, like at night, I get home late from work. I like to put something on that just kind of chill a bit about.
Yep. Are you familiar with Muriel Grossman? Do you know?
So only by reading what people are posting. So she's modern, right?
Yeah, she started, I think maybe 2015, 2016, somewhere in there. And she's from, I think she's like Austrian or something like that, but she is affiliated with like RR Gems, which is in like Estonia. And I don't know where a lot of the recordings are, if they're somewhere in Europe, but she had an album I bought a few years ago that was more, I think, in the kind of the lane that you're talking, where it wasn't really free, but it kind of still had that melody to it, but it was also kind of pushing it as well. Her new album, I've streamed a little bit of on like Bandcamp. I think that one is, the Union is, I don't know if that's her new one, but it'd be great if
double album.
Yeah, that's the new one. Yeah, so she's a good modern one, but yeah, I I know that like Notes and Tones Mike, I mean, he's kind of the guy when it comes to the modern scene and knowing who's who type thing, but I just can't. I don't know.
Well,
I don't have the ability
I don't
to.
know. Here's the one thing, and I think people understand this. This is all new to me.
Sure.
So why does it have to be a modern musician when I don't know the older musician?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And there is a point where I think I'm coming to. There's 5 people I want to keep their stuff, like Chet Baker, Bobby Hutcherson, um, obviously all this Coltrane shit. But there's certain people I want to, Pharoah Sanders. I'm a big Pharoah Sanders guy. So,
Oh yeah. Yep.
and I think he was good about mixing up what he did.
Yeah. Right.
I was listening. There's a copy at Amoeba. I'm saying it on the wall. Barney Weiland, who's a French guy.
Yeah.
And I know he dabbled his foot in some free jazz shit. But do you know the album he did, Moshi?
I don't think so. No.
He went to Africa, and it's a lot of African stuff on it.
Okay.
And it comes with a DVD. I guess he sort of filmed a documentary while he did it, and the covers are all hand done. And there was a reissue done of it within the last 5 years, I think.
Okay.
But there's also that one that his son put out, and they didn't even have the tapes. They did a needle drop. It's a horoscope, but basically all the songs are about different horoscope. That's a really good record.
Yeah.
It's very avant-garde and free, in places.
Yeah.
I recommend that one.
He's got his first album is, well, I don't know if it's his first, but that it's just called Barney, and it was on RCA.
No, I have the Japanese reissue they did.
Yeah, I have that too. That's I love that.
But it's basically just a live album, right?
Yeah.
With Kenny Dorham's on it and stuff.
I think so. Yeah, that's a great album.
I have that one.
But listen, Rob, I got to get going. I think my
thanks for joining me too.
Yeah.
We went longer. I just wanted to show what I picked up.
Sure. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate it. So,
all right, take it easy, Joe.
Later. Yeah,
appreciate it. And I want to thank all of you for joining me. I talked so much I didn't even get to feel my iced coffee. And look, Dino showed up when I'm about to end. Go back and watch everything, Dino. And Dino, I have 2 records in my car for you. I have to come by and drop them off. And Mark Glassman, if you want that album, reach out to me. Let me know so we can talk business. And happy holidays, Dino. We'll talk, I'm sure, while I'm off. Thank you, Sean. And, if anyone's interested, let me know. I'm thinking about maybe doing an auction next weekend if anyone's lonely for the holidays. Also, hey, Nicole, did you get what I sent you? I put in something extra to it. Let me know in the comments below. Yeah, go to sleep, Stefan. All right, I will see everyone. If you want to see me again, come to Rachel stream in the morning. And until next time, the Waxed Out. Bye, everybody.